Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
If it requires the use of ground forces, I have no doubt you'll get support to do it. I'm not confirming this. Let's assume it turns out to be bin Laden and his organization. Any cell, any group, anything it takes, including using ground forces. They have crossed a line that occurs occasionally in history with such a heinous act that they've even have moved those who have been viewed as our enemies. This isn't going to be 800 or 500 or 200,000 troops storming someplace. We have to be patient, we have to be resolved, and we have to understand that this is going to be something that can be done if in fact we do it in conjunction with the rest of the world.
On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
The President has personally stated it to Senator Helms and to me, and I'm sure to others, that we have to be in this for the long haul. We can't, quote, drain the swamp and let it fill up again.
Senator Biden,
Mr. Chairman.
In Kabul today, Afghan leader Hamid Karzai had a blunt message for visiting U.S. Senator Joe Biden.
I'd like a lot of your money to come to Afghanistan.
Rebuilding this shattered nation, Afghan officials said today, will require at least $45 billion in international aid over the next 10 years.
I think this government is really going along on actually nickels and dimes now. It needs some help immediately.
Karzai also told NBC News today his government is committed to finding Osama bin Laden. Karzai said, quote, "He ruined our country, so he's not only your criminal, he's our criminal too."
The first real test of post 9/11 engagement is whether or not we're going to stay the course in Afghanistan. If Chairman Karzai is to govern effectively, the first thing he needs is security. The second is a plan, which is underway, to rebuild a military and a police force and an infusion of economic assistance just to do the basic things, like put in fax machines, telephones, desk, paper, the things that are the necessary tools of governance in the most basic of ways. History is going to judge us very harshly, I believe, if we allow the hope of a liberated Afghanistan to evaporate because we are fearful of the phrase nation building or we do not stay the course. And Mr. Chairman, let's remember why you, Senator Hagel, and I, along with our colleagues on this committee, decided to pass the Afghan Freedom Support Act in the first place. I can sum it up in 3 words: warlords, drugs, and terrorism. We did it for the sake of the people of Afghanistan. We also did it for the sake of our own national security.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
I'm surprised you still have quite a great deal of the press. I thought you had all gone to Iraq. Still here. Good.
We're at a point where we clearly have moved from major combat activity to a period of stability and stabilization and reconstruction.
On Afghanistan, I'm very pleased the administration has agreed to expand the international security force, but progress, I think, has been awfully slow.
From Afghanistan to Iraq, jihadists are increasing in both number and geographic dispersion. Democrats charge the U.S. is creating more terrorists because of Iraq.
It's not a surprise at all that we have been significantly limited in our ability to deal with worldwide terror because we are tied down, bogged down in Iraq.
Good evening. President Bush tonight made his case to the nation and announced his intention to send over 20,000 new American troops to Iraq.
Afghanistan is slipping toward failure because it has never been a priority, and it has to become one.
We spend more money in 3 weeks on combat in Iraq than we spent on the entirety of the last 7 years that we have been in Afghanistan building that country.
Biden made a surprise visit to a dangerous Taliban stronghold in Afghanistan, where he promised U.S. support for its struggle against terrorism, drugs, and corruption.
After my trip, President Obama ordered a comprehensive review of the policy toward Afghanistan and Pakistan, and we want to make sure that our goals are clear and achievable, because I would respectfully suggest none of you nor us could say precisely what our goal is in Afghanistan. What is the goal?
For the U.S. Marines in Marja, the fight got tougher today. But the Afghans don't trust the Americans enough just yet to tell them where the Taliban are hiding.
In Afghanistan, as I speak, our soldiers are making measurable progress on the overarching goal to disrupt, dismantle, and ultimately defeat al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Let me say it plainly, Mr. President. It is not our intention to govern or to nation build, but we are not leaving if you don't want us to leave.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda.
We've decimated al-Qaeda Central. We have eliminated Osama bin Laden. That was our purpose. But we are leaving in 2014, period. And in the process, we're going to be saving over the next 10 years another $800 billion. We've been in this war for over a decade. The primary objective is almost completed. Now all we're doing is putting the Kabul government in a position to be able to maintain their own security. It's their responsibility, not America's.
Today marked a turning point in Afghanistan as the U.S.-led coalition formally ended its combat role in that country. But although that mission has officially come to an end, the conflict in Afghanistan is far from over.
2014 has been the deadliest year since 2001, with 5,000 Afghan forces killed.
In 2014, NATO issued a declaration affirming that Afghan security forces would from that point on have full responsibility for this country's security by the end of that year. That was 7 years ago. So when will it be the right moment to leave? War in Afghanistan was never meant to be a multi-generational undertaking. We were attacked. We went to war with clear goals. We achieved those objectives. Bin Laden is dead, and al-Qaeda is degraded in Iraq, in Afghanistan. And it's time to end the forever war.